Crone, and for today's video we're going to do something a little bit different. This is my tarot reading for myself for 2025, and I wanted to start off doing a tarot reading for myself so that I could come back in a few months or the beginning of next year and review it. I will put details of the decks I used below. For my first three cards, these three along here, these are the Season of the Witch Oracle decks, and this is for Imbolc. I decided to use Imbolc as this week's is my daughter's birthday, and she was born technically the day before official Imbolc, so she's born Imbolc season basically. Anyway, right, let's have a look at these. So the first I have here is Dawn. It says, slow it down, move slower still, and become the witness swelling in presence, which is perfect. At the present, we are in the rest season, so it's lovely to have that card right at the beginning. That really gives me that restful vibe and taking things one day at a time, which is what I'm doing at the moment. I'm taking my time with videos, taking my time with the editing, trying to get things right, and hopefully you will see that reflected in the up and coming videos. And the next thing I have here is devotional. There's something so intimate when letters reflect the tongue. In times of introspection, when I am at my most vulnerable and revealing all that lives within me. This feels to me like I'm being asked to focus a lot more on my spirituality at this time, and I'm being drawn to the book here. So I think what Spirit is asking me to do here is to perhaps focus on journaling and writing things down, which I've started to do. I have a lot of difficulties with my handwriting and stuff like that, so I've started to use computer programs and electronic notes in order to help me with things like that. Okay, so I feel that this card is saying take it slow, but perhaps go inwards and focus on more spiritual matters at the moment. And then after that we have this card here, which is self-ceremony. Create visions you desire. Take action in the plans that lead to fulfillment. Now I feel this card is saying after you've rested, as we're getting towards the end of the Imbolc season, when spring is returning, that is going to be the time to start putting into practice any visions or ideas, any inspiration that I received during this quiet wintering resting time. I then need to start putting into place, preparing for spring, because spring, I get the feeling, is going to be quite busy. The next two cards I'm going to read are from the Witch's Oracle. It's a deck that I've had a while. It does feel to me a spring type of oracle, and that's when I tend to use this one. Let's see what we've got here. Oh, we've got Neophyte, Study. Okay, it's interesting. The other one is Goddess. Now, the way that I'm reading these, this is the beginning of the year, and this is as we're moving into the year. So when I look at this oracle, I see at the beginning of the year we've got Dawn and Devotional, and then we've got Neophyte, and at the bottom it says Study. Neophyte is mainly being a student. Something I've been thinking about is to review my spiritual practice, because there's been a lot of changes in my life last year, and now's the time to start re-looking and perhaps changing the way that I do some things. That's the feeling I'm getting here. And also the looking in the mirror. I have a mirror in my bedroom, full-length mirror, which I use for getting ready for the day and stuff like that. There are certain protectors on that mirror, benevolent spirits for my benefit or protective spirits. And I actually do have a very strong warden on that mirror. So I'm wondering whether this picture about the mirror is actually encouraging me to work more with that. I've also got a mirror in this other picture here, is standing in front of the mirror journaling. That's what she looks like she's doing. So I do feel there's a resonance here that's guiding me towards looking at my self-practice and reflecting on that, but also physically using my mirror that I've got in my room more as a tool, not to shy away from that, because I've put the right protections down, and perhaps it's now time to start using it more. And then we move through to spring, and I've got Goddess here, Transcendence. So I feel the work that I'm doing here is going to pay off with these two cards here. It's saying I'm going to move forward spiritually because I've started to put the work in at this point in the year. So I feel this is more March, April time, and this is more January, February time. And so I'm going to go into the next part of the reading, which are these little mindful messages. Funnily enough, I got these with a little Tibetan bowl that when you put the stick around it, it makes a really fantastic noise, and I found that really, really useful for cleansing the area where I'm working at the moment. It's a bit higgledy-piggledy because it's a room that I share with the rest of my family. It's supposed to be a dining room, but it's kind of got a little bit chaotic. We've got to remove some things and have a good old tidy up, but for the time being it works. Mindful messages. I'm going to have a look at these. As I say, I've got one side here which is sort of like the beginning of the year, the other side later on in the year. Personal journey. I follow what feels right within me without needing validation from others. We are each our own journey, and mine does not need to look like anyone else's. My enjoyment and satisfaction is validation enough, which I'm really pleased I got that. Again, I feel it ties in a little bit with these cards here, but it also says to me something that I'm wanting to do, which is do my videos as I see fit. If I'm inspired to make a video, that's what I'm going to do, rather than thinking, well, will anybody view it or not? I've got to focus less on how many people view my videos, but on just getting them done and then done to the best of my ability, because nobody might view them now, but maybe in the future people might find them and view them and enjoy them. So that's what we're going to focus on. So yeah, I'm really pleased to have got that little message there. So let's have a look further through the year and with the mindful message on the other side. And this one says, coming my way. Unique opportunities aligned with my desires present themselves to me. I attract all that I need to make my dreams a reality. So with this, I feel that putting in all the work that I'm doing now, mundane and spiritual, is all going to pay off later on in the year, and I'm going to have some really great opportunities that are going to come my way, which is fabulous. Right. These are a little star seed cards which my daughter had, and she didn't get on with them, so she decided that she wanted to swap some out with some of my decks, which I said okay then. And she picked a couple of my favourite decks and has run off with them and claims she's going to bring them back, but I very much doubt it. So I'm going to have to be on the lookout to replace those decks because I like them as well. Maybe I'll put up an Amazon list for my 50th, and if people want to send me a little gift for that, then that would be really nice. But anyway, let's have a look here when I turn this over, and we have dreams. The universe speaks to you through dreams. So perhaps this journal that we've got here, perhaps it needs to be my dream journal. I do have a dream journal. I don't always keep up with it. So perhaps that's a little hint to me to start using my dream journal again and make sure that I'm writing things in it. So yeah, all good. And the card for later on in the year, it says Blue Flame. Connect to the blue flame, which is the light of pure love within you. Interesting. Not sure that that really, if I'm honest, resonates. But perhaps it will resonate later on in the year. Everything else so far has resonated, but that one, I'm not feeling the vibe off of it. Perhaps it just feels a little bit too fluffy for my liking, but there we go. Right, we're going to move on to a couple of tarot decks. The first deck I'm going to use is the Tarot of Tales, which is a Melinda Lee Holm deck. I've already got her Elemental Power Tarot, which I love using. That's really a lovely deck to use. And of course, it's purple. The box is purple, and I love purple, as you probably noticed. A bit of a purple theme going on. But let's have a look at these cards. These cards are very new to me. So if I end up needing to use a book, which I hope I don't, because I like to read intuitively, then I have it to hand, but I'm hoping I won't need to use it. But let's have a look. These are meant to be based on folk tales. Let's have a look. And my first card is the Eight of Cups. I get show off as soon as I look at that whale. Or perhaps it's not being a show off, but it's time to stop hiding myself away. It's time to present myself to my audience. And I feel it's telling me to come away from being a bit of a loner. That's the energy that I feel this card is giving me. It's showtime, basically. We have the Seven of Coins. We have a fox here who looks rather pleased with himself. Smuggy fox. Looking at all these pretty butterflies. It's really nice. I love the artwork on these. It's just smashing. And perhaps I will be pretty pleased with myself on something. He's sitting back on his laurels a bit, but he's feeling very comfortable with himself. So maybe that's the kind of vibe I'm going to have throughout the year, as you know, coming out of myself, feeling comfortable about doing that, building up that confidence that I haven't had for quite a while, and getting myself out there. This fox certainly looks like he's like in the centre of the forest, you know, centre of attention, as it were. So okay, and next card is the Three of Coins. So we've got another coin here, which of course is earth. We've got our Eight of Cups, which is water. And me being a triple Taurus, I am very much an earth sign. So this is all good for me. We've got three raccoons, and they're working together to pick the apples from the tree, which is a very clever thing for them to do. So it looks like perhaps what this is saying is that though I'm going to perhaps stand out and be on my own and do things in my own right, I should be open to perhaps collaborating and communicating with others so that perhaps I can pluck some of those apples off the tree that I can't yet reach. Perhaps there are going to be some things along the way that are difficult, and I need to be a little bit more open and ask for help, or open to guidance or mentoring, something like that. Basically it's saying, yeah, you are going to achieve something on your own, but you've got to be open to perhaps joining in with others and collaborating. See, I'm a little bit wary on collaborations these days. You know, once bitten, twice shy. Well, there we go. Oh, what have we got here? We have a 10 of Wands. Interesting. And we have dragons in this 10 of Wands, which is very interesting. Let's have a closer look at these dragons. I like dragons. They all seem to be trying to push their way forward and saying, me, me, me. And I'm wondering whether this is something I'm going to have to balance later on in the year. This does feel more sort of summer I feel sort of summer, autumn, definitely summer, being perhaps a little bit overwhelming, and that I need to be careful of that. You know, it's great to have support. It's great to have people to help, but also be mindful that people can be overwhelming, or even it could be too many offers, and being discerning, being careful not to be burnt out and doing too much. 10 of Wands is normally about burdens and things like that. Obviously with dragons it's slightly different, but I do feel there's something here about things getting a little bit much and needing to prevent that before it gets out of hand. Right. And so, as we're getting towards the other end of the year, that's interesting. We begin the year with 8 of Cups, and we end the year with 6 of Cups. So again, it's got that wintry vibe to it. This whale is having a lovely look at all his family photographs, and so perhaps I might be focusing more on memories and the past, happy memories, not anything negative, but reminiscing perhaps on things, perhaps getting a bit bleary-eyed, you know, remembering the past in a positive way. It just sort of feels everything's going to calm down a bit, but there may be a little period over the summer months where things are going to be a little bit whoa and I might have to say no, that's too much. But right, let's have a look at the next deck. This is the Mythic Tarot, and they are based on Greek mythology. And this, incidentally, the first ever tarot deck that I bought all those years ago when I was 18 was this deck. I found it was probably a little bit above what I should have been working with. And eventually I moved on to other decks. I tried the Rider Waite, and I think I got a little bored with that. And then had a break from tarot because I had other things to do in my life, and then came back to it and had different feelings about decks. And either I gave this deck away or something happened to it and it got lost in the ether somewhere. But it's nice to have it back. It's not this particular deck. I think the version that I had, the cards were a bit bigger. I may have recommended it for my daughter for her first deck because she's really into her Greek mythology, and I work with Hecate, and she also works with Greek gods, goddesses, amongst other things. So I thought it might be a good one for her to start off with, but she just didn't resonate with it. And so this one has been a bit of a swapsy, and it's funny because when I saw she'd got this deck, I was a little bit nostalgic, and I thought, oh, it'd be nice to have that deck again. I think I'd understand it a lot better. And then, hey presto, I now have the deck. Spirit was listening to me. But anyway, let's make a start. So we have Strength, which I think is the Trials of Hercules. Interesting. It's the first major arcana card that I've had. Oh, another major card. We have Temperance. So I think here we are asking me to be courageous but have balance in what I am doing, which ties in with this a little bit. When it's telling me to get out there, but be balanced in that. Don't overdo things, you know, don't burn yourself out. I love how this is coming together. This is a fabulous reading, even if I do say so myself. And we've got a 9 of Cups here. Oh, fabulous. Now, I think this is possibly Aphrodite with Eros and Psyche coming back together again. Always worth a check. It is, I got it right. It's never a crime double checking yourself. So yes, Psyche is being reunited with Eros, her husband, and with them is Aphrodite, who is blessing their union. So, happy ending. Interesting that it's below this card here, which I said was a collaboration card. And again, it's the 3. How cool is that? It's the 3. So it looks like there is going to be a real connection with 3 people, myself included, who are going to work really, really well together. Whatever project it is really going to move things up a level, because the three of us, if we work in harmony, are going to have a fabulous time. So yeah, that's something to look forward to. Definitely. Right, let's have a look at the next card. And we've got a Page of Cups here. Interesting. This could be Narcissus, couldn't it? Because he's staring into the cup. So it's a long time since I've looked at these. When I did have these at quite a young age, I didn't resonate with them. But now I do. And I keep looking at it going, what mythology is that? Got it in one, yes. Yes, this is Narcissus. He's looking into the golden cup and studying his reflection and telling himself how beautiful he is. Perhaps this is something that I've got to watch out for. We've got all these dragons as well above on here, which are all going to be sort of me. And I've perhaps got to watch out for the narcissists. Stick to this nice group that are going to be supportive and not be tempted by other people making promises and they're only in it for themselves. Clarification on the stress and concern that there might be around. Let's have a look. So again, by the end of the year, big changes. Now that is quite interesting, because I am kind of expecting, and it is going to be family related. It is possibly going to happen this year with my daughter going off to university, and that will be a big thing because it's my first baby leaving the coop. It's going to be a bittersweet moment because things are never going to be the same again, and that won't be towards the end of the year, which is where these cards are placed. And whoa, that is my year. So it looks like it's going to be quite exciting with me, my self-reflection and focusing more on spirituality at the beginning of the year. But then Spirit is reminding me that I need to get out there. I need to stop shutting myself away. But then towards the end of the year, my little girl goes off to uni, and there we are. I hope you've enjoyed this. I've loved the way this has come together. It just, the energy of it is fantastic. I've absolutely loved these cards. So if you've enjoyed any of these decks and you would like to check them out, I'll put links in the little blurb below. I hope you've enjoyed this reading, and I look forward to seeing you again. And all that remains to be said is take care, look after yourselves, and mind how you go.